I'm good, Joe. I'm
Yeah,
awesome.
that's what I'm talking about. All right, cool. Cool. All right, so guys, I just hit the record button, so we've got it going. We're going to talk about farming today. Kami, you know what farming is. Tell me what farming is. Give me it in 30 seconds.
No way, I can't do it in 30 seconds.
What? How long do you need, lady?
Okay.
All right, let's hear
All
it.
right. So farming, you pick out a little neighborhood, like
Farm.
250 to 500 houses,
Yeah.
and you do 12 to 15 touches per year. So maybe like once or twice a month, you go knock on their door, or you give them a phone call, let them know that you're around, and let them know that you're ready to help.
Boom,
By
training
either,
complete. See you guys tomorrow. No, that was wonderful, man. Yeah. So the idea of a farm is when you're cold calling people, right? The way we do circle prospecting is you call this neighborhood, and then when it's done, you call this neighborhood, and then when it's done, you call this neighborhood, and you try to call everybody. And if they've got a need right now, you can help them. The idea with farming is the opposite, right? It's saying, hey, this whole area, I'm aware that about 1 out of every 6 or 1 out of every 7 people is going to make a move every year, right? So that's roughly, man, I got to do math. What, 14 to 16% of people? 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7. So for every 100 that you've got in a farm, 14 to 16 of them, let's just say 15, are going to make a move. If you come in and you are the man, you are the woman in that area, you should get 70, 80% of those 15 per 100. That's a shit ton. That's a lot of listings. And all those listings, those people are homeless until you find them a new house. And they're either going to buy locally with you, or they're going to buy not locally. And if you ask the right questions and you set it up correctly, you're going to get a referred agent working with them. And now you're making 25%. That's awesome, right? I love making money, and I put no effort into it, man. I made a phone call. Hey, Nick, you want to give me 25%? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Nick does all the work. I make 25%. I love it. Nick loves it. Everybody's happy, right? So it's a great way to make a ton of money, and it's a great way to build a base business. Two negatives. Number one, it is time consuming. It's a commitment. All right? With cold calling, you could put in 8 hours today and then just not do it for 3 weeks. And then you can put in 8 hours again, and you're still going to get goodness out of it. If you're not consistent in your farming, I wouldn't say it's worthless, but it's one of the worst investments of your time if you're not consistent with it, right? The consistency matters. Number two, it's not as instant as cold calling or an open house or calling expireds or FISBOs. It's a more long-term strategy. So because of that, almost nobody does it. The only people who I know successfully do it are 50, 60-year-old agents who heard about farming decades ago and started doing it. And if you talk to a lot of them, they'll tell you this is the second, third, fourth time that I did it because I just didn't have the time or the interest, or I was, not consistent with it, whatever it was. But if you consistently do it, man, after a year or two, you are going to own 60 to 80% of the real estate activity in that area, right? They've still got brothers and sisters and moms and kids and everything else who you're just not going to beat. That's okay. But if you go into St. James and Port St. Lucie, you're going to see that the Saracens get like 70, 80% of the listings. If you go into PGA Village, you're going to see that Anne Marie Napolitano gets 60 to 80% of the listings. If you come into Bedford Park, you're going to see that Cesar Trujillo gets 60 to 80% of the listings. That's no accident. Cesar doesn't even live here. In fact, if you go to the Bedford Park HOA page, people will give him a hard time when he chimes in. They'll be like, Cesar, you don't even live here. Shut up. And they give him a hard time. And I'm like, this poor guy, man, he's just trying to run a page and farm here. I know what he's doing. Good for him. And then, you've got a couple Karens in there that are beating him up. But you've just got to own the area, okay? So then we got to talk about, what does own the area mean? Own the area means when they think about real estate, all they think about is you. They don't think about anybody else. So you've got to mass inundate them with you. They need to hear your voice. They need to see your face. They need to know your personality. You should be connected on social media. Everything. You should be hitting them with emails, with newsletters, door knocks, phone calls, open houses. It doesn't matter. You should be everywhere in that neighborhood. Now, I suggest if you don't know how much time you're going to invest, you're like, oh man, I'm going to start this, but I don't know if I can really handle a big farm. Start with 200-300. Just start with 200-300 homes. It's a piece of cake. I mean, if you're door knocking 20 an hour and you've got, let's use 200 because it's easy math for me. It's 10 hours a month, man. If you can't commit to 2.5 hours a week of door knocking in a neighborhood that's going to produce 60 to 80% listings for you, I mean, come on. You can do that, right? That's on 200. And by the way, that's the most time-consuming thing you'll have to do is door knock. Cold calling, I mean, you get through 200 cold calls in 4 hours, right? No, 141 an hour. No, you can do that in an hour and a half. You can do an hour and a half of cold calling a month and reach the whole doggone farm. It's a piece of cake. Email, 7 minutes. Doesn't take any time, right? You can hold an event. Now, it's going to take time to create the event, coordinate the event, market the event, everything else, but you're also going to get multiple touches out of it. So maybe 1 month, you let everybody know what the event's going to be. The next month, you hold the event. The next month, you knock on doors and hand out hey, here's what the event did. Maybe you gave money to a charity, or you brought in clothing for a clothing drive, or, you gave away 183 hot dogs for the 4th of July. It doesn't matter what it is. You've come up with ways to get your face, your voice, your personality, your energy in front of these people consistently for how many touches a year, Cammie?
12 to 15 is ideal.
Love it.
For each house.
Yes, for each house. So, before you start farming, let's just say you're going to start farming January 1st, okay? You don't want to start everything on January 1st. You want to start everything on December 15th, at least, right? Create the plan for what you're going to do. Where I've seen people fail is they've got all the ambition, all the excitement, all the great intent in the world. They get out there, they door knock the first round of, most farms are about 500, right? They knock all the doors, and it takes them 500 divided by 20 an hour. What's that? 25? Takes them 25 hours. At 3 hours a day, twice a week, that's 4 weeks of door knocking, right? Takes them the whole month to get the door knocking done. And then they look at month 2 and they're like, I got to cold call all these guys now. I just got done door knocking. I got to door knock them again. I got to throw an event. And they quit. It's done. It's over. And that's why it's so easy to be in the top 13% who actually make it. Because so many people quit. They don't put in the consistent effort. So guys, I know it's effort, but the silver lining of the effort is the effort needed is what keeps the 87% away. So if you can mentally get over that and embrace it, love it, want it, then you can easily be a part of the 13%, right? So create that whole plan from day 1 until day 365 of what you're going to do. And I'm going to make this super easy. Let's, we're going to bring up an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. I have put zero thought into what I'm about to do. I can't lie, though. What the heck is all this? How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? Finish? I'm going to get sold something now. I'll admit I've done this a million times, so it's not like it's quite as quick as I'm going to do it, but it's not that challenging, right? So if we've got January 1st to December 31st, and you want to get out there, you're aggressive, man. All 500, I'm going to hit them 15 times. The first thing I'm going to do is come up with my 15 touches, okay? So they can be anything you want. Half or more should be voice to voice. So that's your calls, your door knocks, your events, right? The other half can be texts. Now you got to reverse engineer that. You got to figure out how to get the phone numbers. You got RedX, right? And you can go get that when you door knock. If you have a clothing drive or, I'm using that as an example, something where it's easy to procure cell numbers off of, now you can do mass texting. You get their emails, you can do mass emails. You get a Facebook group, you can do all kinds of easy touches that way, right? So you got to reverse engineer this. But half of your touches or more should be voice. So we start coming through and we're doing the touches. I'm going to ask you guys for examples here. I'll do about half of them, and then I'm going to shut up and I'm going to ask you guys. So I would say cold calls. I'm not even going to say cold calls. I'm going to say neighborhood calls. No, let's not even do that. Let's come up with exactly what we're going to do, right? Market, update, call. So this is where you're going to call and say, hey guys, Joe Rosen, I'm your local, whatever the community's called, Bedford Park real estate expert. EXP assigned me to your neighborhood. I want to give you the Bedford Park real estate update. Just 3 quick stats. This sold, this sold, this sold. Here's the average price per square foot, whatever it is. And don't be robotic about it, you know. Just have a nice, genuine... Nick, how you doing, man? Hey, it's Joe Rosen with EXP Realty here. I'm the Bedford Park agent in your area. I have a market update that I wanted to share with you. You got 30 seconds? I can tell you about some homes that sold recently. The worst thing they're going to say is, Joe, go screw yourself. Awesome. Nick, it was great talking to you. I'll see you next week. Right? Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You just keep going. And eventually they're going to see you so much that they're going to know, dude, this guy's coming back. He's just a kind guy. If you don't want to, talk to him, tell him to screw himself and he'll leave you alone. Awesome, right? They get it. And the more they see that, the less they're going to say, go screw yourself, and they're going to be kind to you. So you can do a market update call, right? You can do a market update door knock. I think Cammy's done one of these. Cammy, you done one of these? Yeah. You just make your Bedford Park flyer through Canva, and it's got all the, your logos and your face and your contact, and it's got big old stats, 2, 3, 4 cool stats that you think are going to intrigue them the most. Maybe it's got a list of sales in the last 2 to 4 weeks. Maybe it's got a list of the actives, right? Whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You are just the person, the expert who gives out great information. And they see that over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And you become, over time, that area's stud. You're the one they want to talk to. Right? So we got a market update door knock. Now we're going to do 4th of July event. Right? Maybe you go below $300-400 on some hot dogs, buns, ketchup, and you get your cute kids, if you got cute kids. Maybe you got ugly kids, you don't want to do this. Get your cute kids to make some lemonade, right? That's cool. Now you're teaching them how to work. And you're building a little bit of community. You can market the crap out of that. So now that you've got this 4th of July event, you can door knock market the July event. Hey, Lizette. Hey, Joe Rosen with EXP. Hey, next month, we're going to have right over at the park here a 4th of July event. It's going to be awesome, man. We got hot dogs. We're going to have chips. We've got some music. We're going to have a dunk tank. I don't care what it is you're doing. And I was in the military for 10 years. Love my country. I love this area. I love the people. So why not throw a community event? We'd love to see you out there. Here's a flyer. And that flyer's got my face all over it. I might not even talk about real estate. Right? It might be my face, my logo, and 4th of July stuff. It doesn't even matter. All I'm doing is branding myself. I'm trying to be their buddy. So door knock and market the July event. Okay? Now, if you create something that people would be interested in knowing the results of at the July 4th event, you've got a great warm excuse to go back in August, June, July, August, and tell them what happened. So maybe you have a fundraiser for veterans. Veterans fundraiser results. Door knock. Nick, hey man, what's going on? Joe Rosen with EXP Realty. Were you at that 4th of July event? You weren't.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you were? Okay, awesome. Well, I don't know if I caught you, but my kids were so busy selling lemonade, they probably did all the talking. Did you see my girls out there?
I did, yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, there was an awesome fundraiser that day for veterans, blah, blah, blah about the fundraiser, and we ended up raising $2,300, man. This community raised it. So I just want to go around and tell everybody, as a vet, as someone who appreciates vets, as someone who's incredibly patriotic, I just wanted to say thank you to the whole community. So that's it, man. It's good seeing you. How's life?
It's going good.
Blah, blah, blah. The rest about life.
Yeah.
Great. Have a great day, right? It's easy. So I didn't bring up real estate once. I said Joe Rosen with eXp Realty, that flyer that I'm about to hand him that tells him we made $2,300 for vets, it's going to have my little logo down there, but that's it. Right? So all it is branding. It's not hard selling at all. It's simple stuff. So in one event, I got the event, I got the door knock marketing the event, and I got the follow-up afterwards. And by the way, wouldn't that make some great Facebook posts for the group that you might make? All kinds of great things you can do, right? So we got 5 out of the 15 so far. What if we did a clothing drive? That might have been, was that your idea, Cammie? No, maybe that was Christine Martin's. So you get a clothing drive where you're actually going to go out door knock and be like, hey guys, I told you that we're having a clothing drive today. Just wanted to stop by and see if you had anything to donate. No? Awesome. Have a great day, man. Here's a flyer of what we're doing. If you guys do have anything and you drop it off at this time on this date, I'll get it over there. Have a great day. How am I viewed now? Am I a salesman? No, I'm a super nice guy who lives in the community. I'm helping out veterans. I'm throwing clothing drive events. I'm doing a 4th of July event. I'm telling you about the market. Dude, I'm just a cool dude helping you out. That's it. So we're going to have the clothing drive, but then I got a door knock. There, I finally said door right. Market the clothing drive. So that's where I come up. Cammie, how you doing, man? Joe Rosen with eXp Realty. Dude, we're having a clothing drive next month. It's going to be awesome, man. There's a lot of people locally with prices having gone up as much as they are. They can't afford clothing for themselves, for the kids, for anybody in their family. So we're going to put a drive together. If you've got decent clothing, right? We don't want your beat up clothing, but if you've got close to new clothing that you just don't want anymore, we'd love to grab them. We're going to come by on this date and we're going to grab the clothes from you. If you're there and ready, awesome. If you're not, you can drop it off at this location by this date and we'll take care of it all. Any questions? Awesome. How's life, man? Great. Okay, cool. A little bit of bullshit. All right. Have a good day. See you later. On to the next house. Not one word about real estate, right? But my flyer that pitches the whole thing, it's got my face and it's got my logo. They know I'm in real estate. Right? And then you've got door knock results. And maybe you don't door knock. Call with clothing drive results. So here you're just calling. If they pick up, awesome. You tell them, guys, we had an awesome clothing drive. I just want to call the neighborhood and tell all of you what you contributed to. Isn't this awesome? We had 432 pieces of clothing contributed to 316 families. You're changing lives, man. You're changing lives. It's pretty awesome. I'm going to send out a postcard here in the next couple weeks, and it's going to show you one of the families that we actually helped out. It's going to show you how many pieces of clothing we donated. It's just good stuff, and I just wanted to say thank you. That's it. If they don't pick up, you leave that message. Is that message worth something? Hell yeah, it's branding, man. They see your face, they hear you, you're in the messages, you're door knocking, you're throwing events, clothing drives, helping out vets. My gosh, what does this guy not do? That's what they're thinking. So now when they think, I need an agent, I always say, man, agents want the business, but they don't really go far to show people that, hey, you work with me, I'm going to kick some ass for you. They just want the business. But if you show them that you're everywhere, I do everything, I don't stop, I'm relentless, I'm going to help, I'm a giver, I'm charitable, I'm like, dude, just come at them with positivity, excitement, massive action. All they're going to think is when I work with this guy and I'm not seeing what he's doing behind the scenes, I know he's working hard. I have no question in my mind that that guy is doing what he says he's going to do because he does it all the time. Now, the opposite's also true. If you don't follow through with this stuff, people are going to start to think, this dude talks a big game, but he doesn't really do what he says he's going to do. I'm going to call Cammie instead. Right? Now, Cammie's getting my listing. So you really want to follow through with this stuff. But if you do, man, you're building a big old fruit tree, and that fruit's just going to start falling off in about a year or two, man. It's easy. So you got to call with a clothing drive results. Now, You can do a mailing with clothing drive results and next year's drive date. Let's go dates. Now they know what to expect. That's awesome, right? Maybe you do. Okay, after this, I'm going to ask you guys for some input. Super Bowl party in neighborhood park, right? You find somebody who's got a giant screen. You tell everybody, hey, we do this in Bedford Park all the time. Drive on over with your golf cart or your car or walk over. Bring chairs. We're going to have the whole screen set up. I'm going to get a bunch of chips. You bring your beverage, and we're just going to watch the game, man. You can set up banners on both sides of the TV, like a full-body Joe Rosen holding EXP, sponsored by EXP. Dude, nobody cares. But they're going to be staring at that with their peripheral vision the entire time they're watching that 3.5-hour game, man. Tell me that's not great branding. One of those stand-ups costs about $125. You get two of them, $2 to $250. All that branding to the whole community. By the way, you're going to be taking pictures. You're going to be doing videos. Every time somebody wants to take a picture, you tell them, hey, you on that side of me on this side of me, you come over here. You got the cardboard guy in the photo, so there's two of you in there. It's funny. It's going to be all over Facebook. People are going to tag it. Right? So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of your 15 touches. And I just made this crap up in the last handful of minutes. Right? It's super easy. Let's come up with, there's 3. Let's come up with 3 more. Lizette, give me one more idea. It can be a simple one, a tough one. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I was just thinking of doing a specific newsletter for like Torino. I do my weekly newsletter. I could put one together specifically just for Torino and send it up every other week or once a month. We have the Met Stadium over here, so I could like let them know when there's games and stuff.
Current news and shit. I dig it. Easy peasy. All right. Nick, what do you got?
So similar to the clothing drive, I did a animal donation drive for the local animal shelter.
Would that be door knocks, calls? Let's make it calls.
Door knocking and calls. So that's how I would try to get their information is door knock, and then when I'm door knocking, say I'm going to be coming back through the neighborhood in 2 weeks. I just want to remind you, when I'm coming by, can I get your email and phone number?
Awesome. Okay, Camel, what do you got?
A contest, like a drawing.
Okay. Is that door knocks or calls?
Door knocks.
Okay. So I'm going to bring this up, although it doesn't matter, so I'm not going to get too far into this. We're heavy on the door knocks, right? You do want half of these to be face-to-face, but you also got to realize door knocks take a lot of time. Calls, you can call the whole doggone neighborhood in a couple hours, right? You can get that done in 1 day a month. Really easy. So just be aware of that, right? You don't want to go too crazy on the door knocks, but this is a good sound. So now what do? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 14 touches. So I know if I take 365 divided by 14, I got to have about 26 days between each. Well, that's super easy, right? So now you just start literally building your schedule. This is where people start to fall apart. Like, none of this is tough. They just don't put in the effort, right? So from 1-1 to 1, I always want to be ahead of the game, man. 123, we've got, right there, okay. We've got market update call. Okay, cool. I honestly might not start with the market update call. Let's go with the market update door knock. You want to get in front of them before you start calling them. Your odds of success will be better. Okay, now we're gonna spread these out, right? Because we don't want to use market update and market update right after each other. So now let's go. The next one is 124 to 217, and that's going to be the door knock for clothing drive, right? And then you got 218 to 316. This is going to be your actual clothing drive, right? And then 317 to 412, this is your results of clothing drive door knocks. Okay? So we just got all of these done. Now I know July 4th I've got an event, so I can sneak one more thing in here. So let's go 413 to, I don't know, 55. That is going to be our market update call. Okay, cool. We just got this thing knocked off. Now, I don't need to keep going, but you'll see that at the end, I'm going to have from 1/1 to 12/31, I'm going to have all 14 touches. I'm going to have my deadlines, so I know as CEO Joe running my business, I just told employee Joe what he needs to do every day. So on January 1st, I know my marching orders are you better have knocked on every door and given them a market update flyer by the 23rd of January. If not, you're fired. Okay, cool. And I just plan it out, and I can handle that, right? It's one event. I'm not looking at all 14. I'm not overwhelmed by 14 touches. I'm literally looking at the next 23 days, and I know I can knock on 500 doors. It's not tough. So all I do is plan that out. And start looking through this stuff, right? Let's just pretend this is the whole year and start looking at what you're going to need to build. This is why you start this stuff 2, 4, 6 weeks early. You don't want to say on the 24th of January, oh shit, I got to do a clothing drive? That means I'm going to need a flyer. I don't even know, like, where do I bring the clothes? Who do I get the clothes from? All those questions you should have thought about on December 15th. Right? How do I accomplish this? What do I need to know that I don't currently know? Who do I need to connect with that I haven't currently connected with? What flyers do I need? Right? For the July 4th thing? What's my list? Hot dogs, buns, ketchup, mustard, lemonade, 3 tables, 14 chairs, a stand-up flyer, and a dunk tank. All right, cool. How much is it? All these things you can figure out, right? Figure it all out before January 1st. And then attach the to-do list and the resources needed to every single task. And boom, you can create in probably 3-4 hours your entire 90% of your entire annual farming plan. The other 10%, you've already reached out and asked questions. You're just waiting to hear back on the answers. Maybe you don't know how much ketchup costs. Okay, cool. I'm going to have to go look that up. Well, actually, that you can do really quick. Just look it up, man. Like, it's not that tough, right? All this stuff is massive action. You just got to action it. We talked about, I'm going to bring this up because this is where I see agents fail on this. In our sales meeting yesterday, I showed a video by Bradley, and he talked about how his buddy had lost his car. Somebody stole his car. And he knew the guy who stole his car. And he said, okay, I'll go get your car for you. Give me the guy's, like, where does he live? He said, all I know is his first name and his phone number, but his phone number's disconnected. With that little bit of information, he went over to the phone store and he said, hey, I need to pay my bill, my phone bill. And they said, okay, what's your phone number? And he gave him the phone number and they said, you owe us $600. And he said, $600? Let me see that thing. And he turned it around, boom, there's the guy's name, there's the guy's address. And he said, this is BS, threw it back, and he walked out. Then he went and drove to that address, opened the door, boom, there's the roommate. And he says, where's Jerry? Oh, Jerry's not here, man. He couldn't pay the rent. I kicked him out. He's living up in Seattle with his dad. Really? What's his dad's name? Where's the address? Well, dude, here's his phone number, and here's the address. Here's everything you need. Boom, they went up there to the dad's house. There's the car. They don't even knock on the door. They take the key, and they drive it out of there. Boom, he got it. If you saw my post today, Let me read it so it's verbatim. It's not the lack of resources that stops you. It's your lack of resourcefulness. If you can't afford 4th of July hot dogs and ketchup, don't stop. Think of something else. It's not your lack of resources that stops you. It's your lack of resourcefulness. Go find your lender, your title company, your inspector, your dad, I don't care who it is, to help fund this thing. You want to be a sponsor? Yeah, cool. Right? Give them value. Make sure you give them value or that's going to be the last time they sponsor you. But absolutely go ask for some help with this stuff or do something different. But do not let it stop you. Be resourceful. Figure it out. Too many people have one little hunk of adversity and say, it's too much. It's Netflix time. Get excited about the adversity. Ask for the adversity. Hope for bigger adversity because, man, that makes you more valuable if you can overcome it. So don't let this stuff overwhelm you, man. Let it excite you. The more overwhelming it is, the more exciting it should be. You guys are entrepreneurs. This is no joke, right? They say that a salary is what they give you so that you'll forget about chasing your dreams. If you want a salary, then you don't have to take any risk. Well, at least you don't have any perceived risk. But if you want the real deal, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want a business, if you want to go to Little Billy's softball game, whenever the hell you want to go to Little Billy's softball game, you got to work your ass off, and this is where it starts, right? So this is farming. With that in mind, what questions do you guys have? Dude, that was quick. That was 33 minutes, Lizette. See?
Quickest so far.
Once. One time. What questions you got? Come on, give me 2 or 3. We got to have something. Okay.
So would this be set up in a campaign in Follow Up Boss or we could just set up reminders ourselves, like through Google or something? And like tasks.
I probably wouldn't do it in Follow Up Boss because that's person specific, right? So if you got 500 different people, you're gonna have 500 campaigns attached to them. I wouldn't do that. I'd honestly probably take this ugly thing. I just like ugly, right? But if you like pretty, you can go make it in Canva or something. I'd just take this little sucker I'm making right over here, and when it's all done, I'd hit the print button, and I'd literally lock it into my wall right here. I'd pin it to my wall. And then when January 1st rolls around, so then I'm going to take my phone, and on January 1st, January 24th, February 18th, all these initial dates over here, I'm going to say beginning of new farming campaign. And that's going to be a maybe 20-minute task that day on my calendar. And that is an appointment. I don't schedule around it. You want to list your house? I can list it at 9:30 because from 9 to 9:20, I'm farming, baby. Right? I'm farming. That's what I'm doing. So I would put all of those initial days on there, and then that first 20-minute session is where you just look back at what you had created, let's say in December, and you say, okay, these are all the resources I need. This is how much it's going to cost me. This is the time allotted that I need. Here's the strategy. And now you just add the dates like appointments to your calendar. And all I'm focused on January 24th is from the 24th to the 17th. And if I know that I've got 500 homes and I can do 3 hours of door knocks, that's about 60 door knocks. I'm going to need 9 sessions of door knocks. So I'm going to put 9 3-hour sessions of door knocks. And then I'm going to think, okay, I need a clothing drive flyer. That might take me 45 minutes. I'm going to put a 45-minute appointment on my schedule. So I've got a 45-minute appointment on my schedule for door knocks, and I've got another 9 3-hour sessions throughout those roughly 26 days so that I can actually go do the door knocks. Does that answer your question? Okay. What else you guys got?
What's the most timely way to get names with the addresses? Like, say I wanted to do mailers. Like, would I go into the farm area, kind of get all the addresses off, like the property appraiser's website and then look up all their names and then do it that way? Like, what's the best way to do that to save on time and stuff?
Right here, Red X. So all I'm going to do is draw a line around that neighborhood, and I'm going to download those all into a Bedford Park folder, just like you probably already are. And then when it comes time to call them, I'm going to call them. But I've already got all their names with all their addresses. I've got phone numbers. Some of them have emails. I've got all that information. And as I start knocking on your door and I meet Lizette, and Lizette says, dude, my name's not Barb, it's Lizette. I'm going to say, oh, and I'm going to cross out Barb and put Lizette. And then I'm going to go update it in Red X, and I'm going to update it in Follow Up Boss. And I'm going to take time to get all 500 people into my CRM. Right? I don't even care if you're a jerk. I don't care if you're not picking up. I don't care if I've never talked to you. If you're in my farm, you're my baby. Like, you're not going anywhere. You're mine. Right? So everybody's going to my CRM. And all you're doing is updating your file on them throughout time. So I remember, dude, I was crazy when I did this in Minnesota. But this was old school, right? We didn't have the technology we have right now. I read a book. I can't remember what it was called. I think it's called A Millionaire Real Estate Agent, but I can't remember. But it's by Tom Hopkins. Tom Hopkins' claim to fame is he was the first guy ever to sell 365 homes in 365 days. It was crazy. And he did it with an assistant. That's it. He didn't have a buyer's agent. He didn't have any listing agents. Didn't have a team. It was just him and his assistant. 365 days. Now, he had a lot of cool things that he put in there. But when he talked about farming, the one big thing that he did was he had a roughly 6x6 piece of paper. I remember going to Office Max, and asking for this gigantic 6x6 white piece of paper. And I put it up on my wall in my bedroom, man. You want to talk about not having a girlfriend? I put it up in my bedroom, and I put pins all over that sucker so it wouldn't go anywhere. And then with my horrible artistic abilities, I drew all the roads. I literally drew out every single one of those 500 homes. And I put the address by them. And I'd write their first and last names. And if I knew their phone number, which back then I didn't have fancy Red X, I'd go put their phone number. If I knew their email, I'd put their email. Whatever I got, man, I was like a stalker. I wanted to know everybody in those 500 homes. If you had 2 kids and they were named Alex and Bob, it was written in there, man. I knew everything. And then if a home went pending, it was a certain color pin in that house. If it was for sale but not pending, it was a different color. If I knew it was coming up, they'd talked about it, but they hadn't done anything yet. So they're kind of a warm lead. It was another color. And every day, I couldn't help but stare at that thing, man. It was right next to my bed. I knew everything about that neighborhood. I remember there was a dude who hated me named George Herman. And I remember that because Babe Ruth's name was George Herman Ruth. And I would look at him and I'd be like, man, this guy is a complete jerk. Nothing like Babe Ruth at all. And I remember he lived at 4334 Montrose. I don't remember if it was street, avenue, what it is. But he's the one person I remember. And I remember he lived on a cul-de-sac. Like, dude, I remember so much. That was 15, 20 years ago. Like, you'll start to just become obsessed with it. And once you know the area, you'll be in a listing appointment. There's no more, like, looking shit up and remembering numbers. You know. Dude, that's Susie and Bob. They wanted 450. I told them it was crazy. They listed with someone else for 500. They didn't get it. I listed it 6 months later, and we got them 460. Like, you'll just, the whole neighborhood, you'll know exactly what's going on. But it all starts with Red X, man. But my point is, don't let Red X is the start. It's not the finish. It's the start. But then as you go around, you should have a notepad with you every time you door knock, every time you call. So as they talk about the vacation they just went on to in Calgary, or the raise they just got working as a dentist, or whatever it is, all of that stuff is going in your profile. So now 3 years from now, when I knock on Lizette's door, number one, I know her name is Lizette. It's not Barb. And I can say, dude, I know you got that pool done last year. How are you digging the pool, man? Is it good? Look at her. Look at her face. She just smiled. See, that's what it does. You connect with people in a real and authentic way because you're building up your profile on them. I know it sounds crazy, right? It sounds like it's very robotic. But dude, we're all robots. Lizette loves being asked about her family and her pool. She loves it. I love being asked about my girls and my baseball cards. I love it. We're just robots, man. So if you can figure out what they like, just start talking about it. They'll love it. And it's not, in my opinion, that is not manipulative at all. Dude, I like Lizette as a friend. If I know Lizette loves, dude, I don't know. What do I not care about? Why am I looking at my office? It's only filled with things I like. If I know Lizette loves dolls from the 1950s, and I couldn't give a crap less about 1950s dolls, but she's my friend, would I ask her about her 1950s dolls? Yeah. To be fake? No. I really don't care about your dolls. I'd probably even tell her, Lizette, I don't care about dolls at all, but I truly love the passion and excitement that you have for them. Just talk for 5-10 minutes about these dolls. Like, what makes them so great? She'd be like, oh my God. I've had people say that about baseball cards. And I'm like, oh, seriously? Dude, let's go. I'm going to tell you all about them, right? And I just nerd out. You think I'm not going to list my home with that guy right now? He's not even a real estate agent. I'll give him the listing, right? So just build up that whole file on everybody, and now you have the conversation already prepared for you. What else you guys got? That's it? Okay.
What do you think of like an Easter egg hunt? Like, I wouldn't do it this year, but like invite everybody in the neighborhood to an Easter egg hunt with their kids. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah. I think this. Don't waste time on A+ plans. Get a B+ plan and get out the door. And when you do your Easter egg hunt, you're going to find out what sucks about your Easter egg hunt idea real quick. And then next year's Easter egg hunt is going to be a little bit better. And then you're going to find out what sucks about that year's Easter egg hunt. And the next year's Easter egg hunt is going to be a little bit better. And that's how you should do everything in your business. So do I think an Easter egg hunt is a great idea? I think it's a phenomenal idea. Do I think you should spend more than 3 seconds thinking about it? No. I think you should just do it. What else you guys got? All right. Then I'll stick around for 2 more minutes just in case you guys got some questions you're too embarrassed to ask. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. By the way, if you ask questions you're embarrassed to ask, this is recorded, so you're still going to be embarrassed. Have a phenomenal day. If you need anything, stick around.
Bye, Joe. Bye, guys.
Adios.
Bye.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Joe.